Coach is an interesting question. It's a bit like a sports analogy. If you're watching a football game, there's that person sitting up in the booth who is watching the game and seeing it and essentially has given all the instructions before the players run onto the field, but then is helpless for the 40 minutes or however long the game's for. And in Agile, that's the same thing. An Agile coach is somebody who helps the team, plants ideas, perhaps gives them some direction, but in the end has the understanding that they're not going to be on the field helping the team. The team themselves has to do the work. So somebody who really guides, mentors, and helps the teams come up with a better way of working themselves. So in coaching, there's a model, a number of models actually that you can follow, but really it's following an arc of a conversation when you're coaching somebody. So the first thing is making sure that you understand the problem, get to the heart of that, make sure that then you allow that person to reflect on the different things of that problem, allow them to come up with some actions, and then ultimately close out the conversation. And the idea is to go through that arc. A lot of people tell you in professional coaching it's all about asking questions, but when you're talking about Agile coaching specifically, it's about asking questions and knowing when to inject just the right little piece of information so that people can find their way. A good coach is also someone who is directive and reflective. Sometimes you need to be directive when a team is immature or starting on their journey, and sometimes it's about being reflective and helping the team adapt and grow as to what they're doing. Another good aspect of coaching is to make sure that you understand the time limits. A good coach is someone who understands that they are time limited, that there is a date when they need to get out. And so as a coach, I'm always looking for when am I done, what have I got to achieve in that amount of time, and make sure that I know when I'm complete so the team doesn't become dependent on you. There's a whole pile of patterns and different things that good coaches make sure that they understand and really reach into their toolbox to help the team with the particular problem that they're trying to get to. And ultimately what you're really trying to do is help develop the team, because agility is essentially, it's a journey. Agility, it's not about the destination, because that's the delivery, it's about the journey that you take the team on. So how can you make your coaching stick so that if and when you do leave the team can actually still continue on with those practices? So there's lots of pitfalls that Agile teams in general fall into, and a couple of the biggest ones I find is that their stories or their problems are listed as solutions, not problems. So making sure you understand the problem that you're trying to solve, and then the team actually figuring out the solution to it rather than just being given that to them on a plate. So it's a real challenge for the separation of duties, that the product owner understands the value, brings the problem, the team is the one responsible for developing the solution, ultimately coming up with the estimate for how long that's going to take. So that's something that as a coach you're often really looking for. The other thing is that just pieces of work being too big, one of the hearts of agility is breaking things down. So making sure that teams are breaking things down to smaller items so that when they're iterating through their process, they're actually delivering things in smaller chunks. Agile coaching is all about change. So as people, even though we say that we're open to change, we're people that are often resistant to it. And so really it's about trying to figure out what the heart of the problem is. What are we trying to solve as a team? Where are we really trying to be? And as a coach, helping them make that journey. One of the big pitfalls that people fall into is that they essentially try and tell the team the best way of going, and that's not coaching, that's telling, being directive. So really taking that team on that journey and helping them understand and discover how they can do what they're doing and be more effective and get the best value out of the skill sets that they have in the team is really one of the biggest things you can do. So the key coaching competencies are really about four things. It's about being able to train, being able to coach, being able to mentor, and being able to facilitate. And that is built on top of just a base Agile and Lean knowledge. The specialties, there's really three of them, and no coach can really have a good understanding of all three, but the idea is that you have one, maybe two of those, and that is essentially a development skill set or an engineering skill set, so you understand the work that the team is actually doing. You have a business mastery, which is understanding the business extremely well for what the organisation is delivering and what the business is delivering to, what their actual business is. And the third one is transformation knowledge. So a good knowledge of how you will take a team on a journey, or take an organisation, even more importantly, on a journey from here to here. Agile coaching is one of those roles that if we actually all did our role perfectly, we wouldn't actually have the need for the role. But unfortunately, people are people, teams are teams. And so as technology just becomes more pervasive, as our organizations become more complex, the role of Agile coaching is really going to be more about taking those organizations and teams on a journey, particularly as technology, as other businesses start to disrupt from other places. We haven't really even started to see the hockey stick that's going to happen in relation to data and technology change. And so as that gets more complex, there's going to be a greater need for leaders to have coaching skills in order to take people on that journey.